He smirked across the dinner table, fork still in his hand. Mom and Dad said I'm moving into your house. The words hung there, smug, sharp, deliberate. A claim, not a question. I didn't flinch, didn't blink. I let the silence stretch just long enough for him to believe he'd won. Then I smiled, slow, controlled. Funny, I said, sliding a manila envelope across the polished wood. I sold it for $740,000 last week. The color drained from his face before he even touched the papers. And in that moment, watching his jaw slacken, watching my parents stiffen beside him, I tasted the justice I'd been starving for my entire life. I was the daughter they always used. My brother, Michael, the golden boy. Everything he wanted, he got. The car, the tuition, the endless safety net of excuses. And me? I was the reliable one, the one who understood, the one who could sacrifice, because you're stronger, you'll manage. When our aunt died and left me the house, I thought, finally, something that was mine, untouched, a place to breathe. But ownership meant nothing in my family. They called it our house before I even held the keys. Mom suggested Michael stay there temporarily. Dad hinted at how wasteful it was for me to live alone. And Michael, he didn't hint, he announced, "I'll move in once you've cleaned it up." Like I was just a caretaker, not an heir, not a daughter. At first, I brushed it off. But small things piled up. Michael showing up with friends, parading them through my living room. Mom casually moving boxes of his clothes into the spare bedroom. Dad dropping comments at family dinners. This house keeps us all together. Not me, us. I was erased from my own home. The final crack came one Sunday when I walked in to find Michael holding my deed in his hands, smirking like a thief who'd already won. "You don't deserve this place," he said. "You're not even using it right." I remember the way my chest tightened, not with grief, but with clarity. That was the moment I stopped being the used daughter. That was the moment I decided to become something else. I didn't scream, I didn't beg, I planned. First, I visited a realtor. Quiet meetings, quiet listings. The market was hot, hotter than I'd seen in years. Offers came fast. I didn't hesitate. I signed the papers, I signed away the very thing they thought they had already taken from me. Second, I kept it silent. I didn't tell a soul, not even the neighbor who waved when I boxed up furniture, not the coworker who asked why I was suddenly so calm. Secrets only work when they're airtight. And third, I prepared my stage. A family dinner, the place where Michael gloated most freely, where my parents' favoritism was at its loudest. They expected me to fold, as always. They expected me to stay small. They didn't know I'd already detonated the bomb. So when he leaned back, smirk sharp under the chandelier light, and said he was moving into my house, I let him. I let him believe it. Then I slid the envelope across the table. Slowly, deliberately. The room quieted, forks stilled, wine glasses hovered mid-air. Michael pulled the papers free. The deed, the transfer, the closing statement, all stamped, signed, finalized. His smirk broke. His lips parted, but no sound came. Mom leaned forward, eyes darting. "What is this?" "The sale," I said, my voice even. "It closed last Friday." Dad's face reddened, ready to erupt. You sold the family house?" "No," I corrected, locking eyes with Michael. "I sold my house." For once, my brother had no comeback. His hands shook against the papers. He flipped through each page like one might search for oxygen in a drowning sea. It wasn't there. It never was. Because I hadn't just sold the house. I'd sold the illusion that they could own me. The silence stretched, long, heavy, suffocating. Finally, Michael shoved the papers back, voice cracking. You can't just. I already did. That was the moment his face went white. Not just from shock, but from the realization that the game he'd been playing was over. That I had ended it without warning, without begging, without even giving him a chance to steal. I left the table first. I didn't wait for their excuses, their anger, their desperate attempts to shame me. I stood, gathered my coat, and walked out into the cool night air. For once, I didn't feel like I was running from them. They were chasing me now, in silence, in shock, in the hollow space where their entitlement used to sit. And me? I was free. Looking back, it wasn't about the house. It was about the pattern. Years of being the one they leaned on, the one they drained, the one they silenced. Selling the house wasn't revenge. It was reclamation. It was proof that I could end the cycle with one signature. Proof that I didn't have to scream to win. Michael's face, pale and broken at the dinner table, wasn't just